Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. It's finally time. It's finally time to start talking about the college football playoff. This year, guys, both semifinal matchups look to be very, very good. Very intriguing, and both could go either way for the 4 teams that are involved. But the playoff, guys, kicks off on New Year's Eve with number 3 TCU and number 2 Michigan all the way out in Arizona in the Fiesta Bowl. What a way to kick off the college football playoff. You have TCU, the Cinderella team, a team that no one in the preseason expected to make the college football playoff. No one at all. If you tell yourself you thought they were going to go undefeated in the regular season, you're lying to yourself. The Horned Frogs 12-1 in the college football playoff, despite losing to Kansas State in the Big 12 championship game. They take on Michigan, sitting at 13-0, demolished Ohio State in the season finale in the college football playoff for the second year in a row. Who would have thought back in the preseason that TCU or Michigan would be playing in the national championship game? That's insane. That's insane, but it's exciting, and it's the beauty of college football. So today, guys, we are here to break down this first semifinal matchup and tell you which of these 2 teams, the Horned Frogs or the Wolverines, will be playing for a national championship either against Georgia or Ohio State. So again, guys, welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We're so glad that you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. Because if you have not signed up for our expert picks, and if you've not signed up for that holiday special, you are missing out. You are missing out. As of this filming, we are sitting at 15-2. 15-2 in our college football bowl game picks over on thegridironexpert.com. If you bought the holiday special that gets you every college football bowl game pick and every NFL playoff pick, you've made your money back and more. We can always guarantee that. Guarantee winning records, guarantee your money back, guarantee you're going to come out with some big-time winnings at the Gridiron Expert, beating out over 80% of the national analysts each of the last 4 years and doing it again right now as we have the best mark in the country when it comes to bowl game spread picks. So go check it out. The link down in the description below. So let's dive into the semifinal game, guys. This is the one that I think, for me, I'm more excited about. It's 2 teams that are a little bit different, 2 teams that have different styles, and 2 teams that are going to give us some really high quality and fun football. You look at TCU, guys. This is a team that's averaging 40 points per game, 273 through the air, and 200 on the ground. So they're explosive, they're balanced, and they can beat you either way. They can beat you through the air, they can beat you on the ground. But it all starts, of course, with Max Duggan, a Heisman finalist who threw for over 3,300 yards and 30 touchdowns to go along with just 4 interceptions. That's it. He takes phenomenal care of the football. He's rushed for over 400 yards. He's added 6 more rushing touchdowns, so 36 touchdowns on the year. He has really single-handedly put this TCU team on his back this season in year 1 under Sonny Dykes. Add that to the Cinderella story for TCU. Not only did no one expect him to be here, but they're doing it in their first year with Sonny Dykes. You look at the rest of the team, though, you got a guy like Kendre Miller, star running back who's rushed for over 1,300 yards and 17 touchdowns. You got your star wide receiver in Quentin Johnston, 903 reception yards and 5 touchdowns. That's your big 3. You have a dangerous dual threat quarterback in Max Duggan who's got one heck of an arm. You got a solid 1,300 plus yard running back, and you've got Quentin Johnston who can just about win every single 50-50 ball you throw at him. Yes, TCU has 5 wins by 1 possession. These are the guys that are helping them close the games out. You also look at the offense, guys. They've scored at least 28 points in every single game they've played this year except for 1. And that was a 17-10 victory against Texas. At least 28 points in every game except the Texas game. And they still won that game on the road. You look at Michigan, guys. This is a team that is just like TCU when it comes to the numbers, right? At least from the points per game. 40.1 points per game, so 0.2 points per game off of TCU. 210.5 passing yards per game for the Wolverines and 243 on the ground. So you look at TCU, they are more of a pass-happy team, but definitely more balanced. And Michigan's definitely balanced too. But if you look at TCU, they're going to probably want to throw it a little bit more than Michigan. Michigan certainly wants to lean more on the run. The run game is the key for Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines. And the unfortunate part for them is they will be without Blake Corum, who rushed for over 1,400 yards this season. But that's not new. Corum really didn't play in the victory over Ohio State. He did not play in the Big Ten championship against Purdue. They've relied on Donovan Edwards, who's rushed for 872 yards and 7 touchdowns, including 401 yards in those last 2 games against Purdue and Ohio State. So nearly half of his rushing numbers or rushing yards on the year came in the last 2 games where he just torched Purdue and torched Ohio State. They do have a very accurate quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. So we talked about Max Duggan, how well he does taking care of the football. McCarthy does the same. Over 2,300 yards, 20 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions on the year, so takes great care of it. Completing over 65% of his passes. Has a star wide receiver in Ronnie Bell, over 750 yards and 3 touchdowns. This Michigan offense is not necessarily explosive. TCU's offense certainly more explosive, certainly has more of a big play capability, but the Michigan team will wear you down. They're balanced, they're efficient, they're methodical with their drives, and they typically do result in points. They're just not going to beat you on one big play. We've seen a couple big run plays here and there from Michigan, sure, but TCU overall more explosive, definitely has that bigger big play capability than Michigan has. You take a look at the defense, though, guys. There is a clear advantage here for one of these teams. If you take a look at the Horned Frogs, they're giving up 25 points per game, about 235 passing yards per game, and about 150 rushing yards per game. And obviously, when you're playing Michigan, you've got to stop the run. If you can force Michigan to have to win the game through the air, something they do not want to have to do, you're making them uncomfortable. You have a good chance to win the game. You can't allow Michigan to come at you and be balanced. You can't allow them to get the ground game going. TCU is giving up nearly 150 rushing yards per game. If they can't do that against Michigan, if they can't slow it down, they don't stand a chance. You look at this. Yes, we know they've given up a lot of yards this year, and TCU still has found ways to win. Michigan, to me, a bit of a different breed. TCU giving up 205 rushing yards to Kansas State in the championship game, the Big 12 championship game. They gave up 232 rushing yards to Baylor, a game that TCU won at the buzzer. Game-winning field goal as time expired, 29-28. 195 rushing yards to Texas Tech, 158 rushing yards to Kansas State in the regular season meeting, 189 rushing yards to Kansas in a 7-point victory. Michigan, to me, is the best rushing team that TCU has faced all year long. They've given up a lot of yards to these teams that we just listed. The Horned Frogs do find a good way of creating pressure, 26 sacks on the year. They have 19 turnovers forced on the year, so they can get those takeaways. And if you turn the ball over, TCU is going to capitalize on that. But the Horned Frogs have to stop the run. If they can't, they're going to be in for a long day out at the Fiesta Bowl. Michigan does own the edge defensively. I don't think many people can dispute that. Michigan owns the edge defensively. 13.4 points per game. That's all they're giving up. They have shut down every single opponent they have played, including one of the greatest offenses in the country in Ohio State, holding them to 23 points on the day. They're allowing just 192 passing yards per game, 85.2 rushing yards per game. That's your magic number. This is a game that's going to be won in the trenches, guys. You look at Michigan, averaging 243 rushing yards on offense. TCU, averaging 200 yards rushing per game. Michigan's giving up just 85 rushing yards per game. That's it. So if they shut down TCU and force them to be one-dimensional, can Max Duggan win the game by himself? Yes. We just said earlier, he has put the team on his back. He tried to do everything he could against Kansas State. The championship game, he's done it all year long. I have a lot of faith and respect and admiration for Max Duggan. But the Wolverines are giving up just 277.1 total yards per game. That's it. That's it. I don't think that Michigan's going to allow many rushing yards. So if they can hone in on that pass, force a couple turnovers, or completely shut it down, TCU's offense is going to be dead. They're going to have nothing. They're not going to be able to do anything. They're explosive. They're fast. Michigan's going to do everything they can to take away that big play, explosive capability. Max Duggan is the key here. Hone in on him, keep him in the pocket, force him into some mistakes. Michigan's good to go because I don't think that Kendre Miller and TCU are going to be able to get that many rushing yards. If they can eclipse about 140-ish rushing yards in this game, watch out. This game comes down to the wire. I do think it comes down to the wire when it's all said and done. But TCU has a great shot of winning if they can eclipse about 140 rushing yards against a Michigan defense that also has forced 36 sacks and does a phenomenal job of getting into the backfield. So what's going to happen into this game, guys? What's going to happen in the Fiesta Bowl? To me, this is a perfect way to start the college football playoff. Perfect way to get into these semifinal games, both of which I think are going to be fantastic games. I hope that neither of these games are just blowouts so you can turn off at halftime like we've seen in years past. I don't think that's going to be the case with either. Don't think it's going to be the case here at the Fiesta Bowl. But ultimately, I do believe that the run stops for TCU. I do believe it ends for TCU. Their magical run ends in the Fiesta Bowl. Michigan, to me, guys, is too balanced offensively. The run game has been dominant all year long, regardless of the opponents they have played. TCU hasn't been that great in stopping the run. The Michigan defense is significantly better than that of the Horned Frogs. It may be the best defense and maybe the best team that TCU has seen all year long. I believe that Michigan does everything they can and does exactly what they need to do to win this game. That is continuing to stop the run that they've done, bottling up at Max Duggan, not allowing him to escape the pocket. Michigan wins the Fiesta Bowl. They win the college football playoff semifinal game, and the Wolverines will be playing for a national championship on January 9th. Now, whether that is against Georgia or Ohio State, you have to find out later today right here at the Gridiron Expert. But the Wolverines will be in the national championship. A credit to Sonny Dykes and TCU for an unbelievable and unprecedented season in Fort Worth. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below, including those expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Again, if you have not signed up for our holiday special, $29.99, they get you every single college football bowl game pick and every single NFL playoff pick. You're truly missing out because we are killing it this year. Best mark in the entire country, winning big time money right here at the channel. Go check it out. Low price, guaranteed winnings. The link down in the description below. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.